Generation X. In general terms, those born between 1965 and 1980. Latchkey kids. Independent. Existentialism. Modern philosophy focusing on personal experience, human ability, and responsibility in an otherwise meaningless universe. We're the cause. This is the effect. We're the Gen Existentialists. Welcome into the Gen Existentialist podcast. My name is Scott.
And I'm Bunny.
And we are here to expound extemporaneously for about 20 minutes or so about all manner of things from a Gen X perspective. How you doing, Bunny?
I'm wonderful. How are you doing?
I'm feeling very contemplative. I'm feeling very thoughtful today.
He's going to be rambling, folks.
And as I stare at Mega Wheel the Magnificent making her return after taking a break for the Halloween special.
Well, yes.
Just rotating and rotating. Over 1,400 and some odd questions on here. And I'm going to give her a tap and make her spin.
Give her a slap.
See if she'll land on her head. Yeah. I'm not going to slap her. She might slap me back. Nobody wants that to happen. So, our first question. I don't like that question.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a
veto power. Yeah, I didn't even get to see what the question was, so we'll never know.
Delete it. We'll start over again.
Wow.
And so, for our actual first question on this Gen Existentialist podcast, we have, and this is a super long one, would you rather genuinely and unironically love every movie you see or song you hear despite the quality of the movie or song and what others think about it? What? I should have skipped that one too. This is just insane.
Yeah, I mean, I think that begs the question of, are you one of these people that would just like to find joy in everything?
Yeah.
Or would you like to have some shades of gray and some not so good in your life?
Yeah, I mean, everything I love, I genuinely and unironically love it.
Well, sure.
It just...
That goes with the word love.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. So just
we're going to have to vet some of these questions. That was a weird one.
We're giving Mega Wheel another spin. Generally, on the show, if a question is too long to fit on the one page and I have to scroll through it, it's not good.
Oh, okay. Brevity is the soul of wit, right?
Yes. And speaking of brevity, this question is a full 7 words long.
All right.
Are you more into brains or looks?
I'm into brains, of course, but I mean, brains endure until they don't.
Yeah.
So looks are always a big plus, but I have an unconventional interest in people and ladies anyway. So, I mean, I just put it this way. Me and my friends never really fought over girls.
No.
Because we all had such wildly different taste in women.
Yeah.
So, and if you're looking for a way to preserve your male friendships out there, that's a good one, because you never have to worry about your best friend hitting on your girlfriend and vice versa, because you just don't really dig the same type of chicks. So,
yeah. And
huzzah.
More into brains or looks? Yeah, obviously the brains have to be there. That is a must. And we're all attracted to different things. I feel like in saying this, I got both. I think you would agree.
Oh, yeah.
Got both. So it's
But I'll tell you, sense of humor trumps all of those. That's the big one for me. You can be dumb as a rock, but if you make me laugh and you're funny, it's awesome.
It's another aspect of the trifecta, I think. Yeah, because...
Yeah, I mean, that's when you get the Triforce. If we can go all Legend of Zelda on you.
Yeah, you can be very brainy and very pretty, but if you don't have a sense of humor, I'm probably not interested. So we will give Mega Wheel another spin and see what we can come up with here on the Gen Existentialist podcast. She did. She landed on her head. Terrible, terrible stuff. And the question is, you don't have to give me 5, but the question is this: 5 best hair metal songs that get you pumped.
5 best hair metal songs that get me pumped. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
Folks, if you could see the utter joy on Bunny's face right now.
What are the chances out of 1,500 questions? Cinderella, Nothing for Nothing.
Okay.
Love that song. Kicks, Cold Blooded.
Yeah.
Or Cold Blood.
Yeah.
I love that song. Wow. I don't know, 5 that get me really pumped. I think Smooth Up In Ya is funny.
Bullet Boys.
It's not one of those that really I go seeking out, but it's pretty hilarious.
Yeah. Just the scream at the beginning is enough to make you smile.
Yeah.
And then I always love the bass sound on that song. It's a great song for when you're driving.
This is how I know my wife is a complete saint. I used to have that as her ringtone. Whenever she'd call me, it'd be smooth up in ya. I come screaming out of my phone. Because she's one of the few people that actually calls me. It was either that or the cherry pie one, which she didn't like that one either. Warrant, cherry pie. I said, but you are my cherry pie.
I'm just picturing you at like the grocery store.
that's
and your phone goes off.
It's great when you're in a meeting. Or you're just hanging out with a neighbor.
And somebody says, who was that? Oh, it was my wife.
That's my wife, yeah. Duh, huh? I mean, come on. Oh, boy. Naughty Naughty. I like that song.
By Danger Danger?
By Danger Danger. It's funny.
Yeah.
How about you? What are some hair metal songs that get you pumped?
Cinderella, but different song, Gypsy Road, off of the second album.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had this discussion about which one's the better Rella album. Almost anything that you would find on Rat's greatest hits.
Sure.
And it's not like I'm a big Rat fan, but their greatest hits...
Except for Way Cool Jr., which is a terrible song.
It's still okay. Their best of album, 81 to 91, has it's such a solid slab
It's true.
of energetic, I hate the term hair metal, but using that term,
love it.
Just great stuff there.
Yeah.
There was a band called Jet Boy.
Okay.
That put out a few albums. Sammy Offa, the bassist from Hanoi Rocks, was in the band for their first 2 albums. And there was a song on the second album called Heavy Chevy.
Okay.
That is just, it's a great tune.
All right.
Gosh, what else? There's a lot of stuff that I wouldn't necessarily consider hair metal. You already picked up on Kicks, and actually that entire album,
that album
Cold
is great,
Blood is on,
actually.
is fantastic.
That's Blow My Fuse album.
Blow My Fuse and the follow-up, I think it's called Hot Wire.
Yeah.
Those 2 albums are just start to finish great.
See, that's one of those things. Why did those guys never get more attention? It's bizarre. Because they weren't as good looking as other
Kicks,
bands?
Because they were on Atlantic Records.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. That. Here's another one. I and our friend Tim are both big fans of White Lion.
Oh.
And the song Little Fighter. If you're hey, stop. If you're talking about a song that will get you pumped up,
all right,
like a sing-along kind of thing, Little Fighter by White Lion.
Very nice.
Absolutely. I'm right there with that.
Okay. So do you consider something like Wasp hair metal, or is that something? Okay.
They're leaning more into the straight-ahead heavy metal, but I Want to Be Somebody.
Yeah, I Want to Be Somebody is a great, like that intro drum bit. That's great. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So, I agree.
Yeah, can't go wrong with that stuff. And I'm not a big Wasp fan, but
I love their first album. I think their first album is exquisite.
The first one and The Last Command, Inside the Electric Circus, got a little bit weird.
They've kind of gone down, in my opinion, as opposed they started off really strong and they never really hit that same high again.
That's because Steve Riley left, and he was
the
drummer. He was a drummer. He was the driving force of the band. For me. Yeah. What else that would be considered hair metal? I don't know. You already picked up on Bullet Boys.
I love YNT's Summertime Girls.
Sure.
The harmony in that makes me smile.
Criminally underrated band.
Okay.
YNT, Dave Meniketti as a songwriter, as a guitar player, Summertime Girls. Actually, if you're at like a used record shop or wherever and you get a chance to pick up a YNT album, just do it, because it's going to be solid quality rock and roll. May not be stuff that will blow your socks off, but it's good stuff all the way through. trying to think about some of the bands that I saw. Gosh. Oh, LA Guns.
Sure. Okay.
I'll go with Rip and Tear.
All right.
Off of Cocked and Loaded, or Never Enough to get you pumped up. Electric Gypsy.
One More Reason.
Yes.
Is a good pump-up song.
Absolutely. Anything off the first two albums, right. Anything off the self-titled and Cocked and Loaded is just
Hey, half of our
stuff.
Audience is sitting here going, what are they talking about? What is this hair metal crap?
Hey, this is all Gen X stuff. I mean, this is all stuff we grew up on, so absolutely. That was a great question.
Hooray,
that question
wheel.
right there kind of salvaged this entire episode as far as I'm concerned. But we will give Mega Wheel of Magnificent another spin. Oh, if she gifts us with something that good again, it's just going to be amazing, this show.
Gotta land her on her head more often.
Yeah, she's kind of on her side for this one. But it is music related.
Oh, well.
She's helping us out here. So, who's your go-to band or artist when you can't... Didn't we just do this?
We did that one just a couple weeks ago, and it was was Guided by Voices for me.
Yeah,
yeah,
and it was David Bowie for me.
Yeah,
doggone it. Mega Wheel gives us a great one, and then just pulls the rug out from under us.
And then you have to realize, folks, there are 1,500 plus questions on this, and the chances of it coming up with the same question, amazing,
incredibly low. So, would you rather trust everyone always, or never trust anyone ever?
I would rather trust everyone always if I had the option, because I think living in a world where you don't trust anyone is a pretty isolating experience, that you're always living in fear. Yeah. And fear is not a way to live your life, in my opinion.
A world without trust would be incredibly bleak.
Yeah.
Because it would breed paranoia.
Oh, yeah, just breed violence and paranoia and
Yeah.
Lone wolfism.
Yeah.
You know.
And you've got to have trust in at least someone or something. You've got to have faith in something. To not have trust or faith would just be an abysmal existence as far as I'm concerned. So we will give Mega Wheel another spin. It feels like this episode is going to have 1,000,000 spins and yet still be a regular length episode.
That's fine. Get through some of the detritus.
Our next question is poverty an inevitable byproduct of human society? See, now we've got the deep question.
Yeah.
That'll probably take us to the end of the show.
Well, okay, I'd say poverty is probably. I mean, it's another side of a binary coin. I mean, you're either wealthy or you're impoverished. There's very little, it's all quasi definition. I mean, what one person considers wealthy, another person considers impoverished. I mean, it's a spectrum. There's no real way of defining what wealth is versus what poverty is. Because some people think they're impoverished. And quite honestly, I've met some people who are in crushing poverty. I would say, you're doing just fine. If you have a house, you have something to put in your belly, you're doing just fine. You may not have the Maserati you want, but there are some people that have literally nothing. they have the clothes on their back and a mental problem, and that's about all they've got going for them. Yeah. I think poverty is sort of an inevitable situation because some people choose to live in poverty. Mm-hmm. If we lived in a world where, this ridiculous idea of equality actually existed in the world, where everybody was equal and everybody got the same stuff and the same treatment and the blah, 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 there'd always be someone that would want to be more and some people that would want to run from that, like the Luddites, and want to have less, because people are not the same. The idea of that kind of equality is ludicrous. It's a utopian pipe dream.
I believe in equity, not equality.
Even that, if you gave everybody the same starting line, that doesn't mean they're going to end in the same spot. They're not. So, because some people are better than other people and vice versa at a myriad
at different
of things.
Yeah.
So, we just all have to deal with the idea that, yes, there are going to be some people who need a hand up. If they want a hand up, sure, you can give them a hand up, and that's kind of the duty of man. Didn't they say, you're your brother's keeper? Yeah. So that's your job, is to, as a civilization, help those people that you can help and be helped by people who can help you.
Yeah.
Because everybody's going to need help sooner or later.
Absolutely.
Be it financial or medical or spiritual. Somebody's going to need a hand up, and there's always somebody out there who's got a hand for you.
Yeah.
In an ideal society, I guess. Yeah. How about you?
I don't think poverty is inevitable as a byproduct of human society. I think it is one of those things that happens when society is not cognizant of its place. And by society, I mean the greater community. It's kind of like businesses. If you are a business, if you're a business owner, let's say you're selling widgets and you want everybody to buy your widgets. That's your goal. Sell widgets, make money. But you're not paying your employees enough that they can buy the widgets. It seems a little bit problematic.
Well, that's capitalism.
Right. I mean, and that's what our society is based on. I think any specific pattern or path, capitalism, socialism, what have you, in and of itself is doomed to eat itself. You have to mix them a little bit. Like here in the United States, capitalist, but we also have socialist aspects that try to bring some equity and try to bring some social norms to everything. We've got fire departments, we have police, we have laws, we have streets. Those are all a product of basically socialism, because people don't just do it and sell streets. I mean, they can. You get what I'm saying. But I don't think poverty is inevitable. I think it is a product of human greed. When the people that have billions, if you've got a CEO of a company that's making $114 million as their salary, and they lay off a bunch of people because profits didn't meet what they projected for that quarter, does it make sense to lay those people off, or for the CEO to say, you know what, I'm cutting my salary in half so we can keep our people because they're experienced, they know the job, we're going to work to turn this around? Which makes more sense from a business perspective? The CEO giving back half his salary, keeping the people, and working to turn the company around. But everybody, not everybody, I hate hasty generalizations. So much of capitalism today is short-term thinking.
Well, that's because the owner of the business, say Jeff Bezos, you're a fan of Jeff Bezos, who I'm sure is worth 114 million or more. Billion. Yeah. You know, he could turn around and do that too, but then again, he won't be making 114 billion if he does that. Number two, he doesn't just own the company. Shareholders own the company.
And that's
and
part
shareholders
of the problem
all
too.
want to get paid. You know, so it's like you're not dealing with just one guy or girl who owns a business.
Yeah.
Through shares, through stockholding, through board of directors. Yeah. The community owns the company in a way. So the community wants to all get paid. Everybody wants to get rich.
Yeah.
So...
And that's the problem with that kind of stuff, too. Is
when you relinquish control over your empire to a democracy, a group of people who are all going to make the decision for you that you can't override, or you get booted out, and then they put their own guy in, or gal in.
Yeah.
It's the way it works. You know, in a world where you have more control over your empire, you can be a benevolent ruler. In a world where you let 50 other people, be them rich or poor, make the decisions for the rest of the people.
Basically what we're saying is this: if you have to answer to your shareholders as opposed to your employees, then yes, poverty is an inevitable byproduct of human society. If you control your environment more and you can make those swings and changes as needed to affect your working environment and your product and the way you do business, then no, I don't think it is.
Okay.
And I think if society heads more in that direction where there's more care and more thought for long-term business prospects and doing things in a sustainable and good in quotation marks, way, then poverty could be wiped out. But again, there are some people that will happily live in what is considered an impoverished state.
Yeah, I mean, poverty is a real sliding scale definition. And turn it back around to music again. You remember that prog album that was like on Algol or whatever, where an ordinary cup of drinking chocolate costs 7 billion quid or whatever the heck the song was called.
Yeah.
You know, in a world where the economy is so wildly out of tune with what you normally think, me making $200,000 a year could be considered impoverished.
Yeah.
You know, it's a sliding scale.
Yeah.
So there is true poverty, which is where you are homeless, itinerant, possibly mentally ill. You have nothing but yourself and whatever you can put on a grocery cart and move around.
Yeah. And
I think most people would consider that really
real poverty.
Poverty, as opposed to I'm below the poverty line, but I'm making $30,000 a year. You know,
I'm doing okay. We're doing okay.
Yeah, we're fine.
It's one of those things where I look at it from the point of view of like whatever you want to call it, price gouging these days. Like I switched to a new job a short time ago, got a better salary, and yet with inflation, I'm actually making less than I was a few years ago. Like my profit margin is much smaller now on my hours worked than it was 5 years ago, which is weird because I'm making more money, but everything costs more. It's like can't get ahead.
Sure.
Can't start putting money in the bank and saving because everything costs more. And it's not natural. It's literally price gouging. We've got plenty of evidence of it now.
Thanks,
people
Federal
have admitted
Reserve.
to it. Yeah, it's everybody. It's horrifying and kind of pisses me off, to be honest with you.
Take that, world.
Should we give Mega Wheel one more spin?
Yeah.
Let's give her a spin here and see if we can come up with a finale topic for this episode of the Gen Existentialists. And she landed on her head, and the question is, if you could change one thing to make life easier for your own gender. We just did that one too. I swear to God, I've removed these.
Gotta be deleting them.
I did. Both of them had been deleted.
Bizarre.
Yeah, this is ruthless.
Don't mind us while we work the turkey through. It's all good.
So our final question, would you rather have a partner with bad breath or body odor?
Body odor, I would say. I think it's a double-edged sword either way, but...
Yeah. It's a really terrible question.
I like me some French kissing. I can't help it.
Yeah. So. You know what? If it's my partner, either one, I mean, it doesn't matter.
Oh, you gotta pick one.
I will pick bad breath.
All right.
Yeah, just because it, get some Scope or some Listerine, and you're good. Take care of it. Move on.
And that's how we're gonna end it, folks. Get some Scope.
get some Scope or some Listerine, and take care of it. And that'll do it for this episode of the Gen Existentialists. My name is Scott.
And I'm Bunny.
And next week we'll talk about mouth hygiene here on the Gen Existentialists. Have a good one.